What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. Today we get our first look at the new starter deck for Series 6, and it's all about Brawley, as is the set itself. And some of these cards are pretty crazy. Some of them are really fucking crazy, and the fact that they have given Brawley this much love and attention is going to make all of the Brawley fans they're just gonna go crazy over all this shit that we've been given. Let's go ahead and check this shit out. So first up, we have the new leader. He's green, and he is Frieza's Army. So once again, another card that's going to be running Bloodlust. We're going to be seeing that card a lot more often, I think, and especially for all of the Frieza support that we have. It's going to be green-yellow once again. His activate main says, choose up to one green Frieza's Army card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck and add it to your hand. Then shuffle your deck and negate this skill for the duration of the turn. Not that great, if you ask me. He's a free, like, his activate main's a +1, and then you're done. That's not a good ability in my opinion, especially since it's limited to green only. And it's like the Goten leader from the draft box. It's just like once you use the effect, you can't use it again, and that's not good in a leader. Then Brawley is also one of those leaders that lets you draw one card and choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode. So he gets kind of like half of each of the awakened abilities. Also not that great in my personal opinion. I'm not a big fan of that. At that point, I would rather just have one or the other. On the awakened side, we have Brawley, Evil Unleashed. I gotta admit, even though I don't like Brawley, the art is pretty solid. His permanent says if there are 2 or more battle cards in play in your battle area, you can't play battle cards. Okay, if there are 2 more battle cards in play in your battle area, you can't play battle cards. So he severely limits what you can do. Sparking 7, when this card attacks, draw cards so you have 6 cards in your hand. Okay, that's not cool. That's pretty gross, and it allows you to fill your hand back up pretty easily. Basically, you can just combo and play all your shit, and then attack and get back to 6 cards. Although that can cause you to deck out pretty quickly, and with Janemba running around, that's not exactly great. I mean, the ability's great, but that just means you're at a pretty big risk when you play against Janemba. Activate main says once per turn, choose one of your battle cards and one of your opponent's battle cards, KO the chosen cards. So you can KO both those cards. I wonder if perhaps this would work with the Khalifa from set 3. You could just choose your Khalifa, and then, oh, it can't die, but your opponent's card still dies. That might be alright. Then the first card in the set, then the first card in the deck is going to be Brawley the Ravager. He's a 7 cost. 7! He's got critical, 30,000 power. Activate battle is once per turn, burst 3. Your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in their drop area. For a 7 cost, unless there's a card that allows them to come out for cheaper, like, that's not great either. I mean, and it makes your opponent discard a card, and then he's just critical, but, I mean, that's pretty easy to stop. And since his abilities activate battle, if you negate him, then, he can't force you to discard, so he'd be kind of easy to play around, especially as a 7-drop. Then we've got Brawley Rushing Forth, who's a 4-drop, 20,000 power with critical. When this card is removed from a battle area by a skill or KO, you may choose 2 cards from your hand and place them in the drop area. If you do, choose up to 1 green Brawley card with energy cost of 7 from your hand and play it. Okay, so right there, that's how you get the 7-drop to the board. And it's kind of shitty because when this card is removed from a battle area by a skill or KO'd. So just if it leaves the battle area regardless, or if you KO it with the leader's ability. So you KO your own 4-drop Brawley to bring out the 7-drop. Pretty clever. Alright, so you can still use the Khalifa. I believe you might be able to still use the Khalifa. But you could also KO this Brawley and bring out your big drops, your big 7-drop guy. That's also a possibility. Alright, I see what they're trying to do here. Then we've got Defending Father Paragus. He's our super combo. When you combo with this card, if your leader is green and your life is 4 or less, draw 2 cards and choose 1 card from your hand and send it to your warp. Alright, so that's a bit interesting. Now, he's Frieza's Army, so not only is he searchable, but you can also play him with Frieza's Call for 1 energy to bring him to your board so you can super combo with him. But you draw 2 cards, and then you warp one of them to your hand. So that's more deck thinning. This deck is going to get you through your deck pretty quickly. But, again, Janemba is going to have a field day with all of this draw power. Then you've got Chi-Lai, Frieza Force Soldier. She's a 1-cost 4,000. When you play this card, draw 1 card. Activate main for 1 green and 1 other. Choose up to 1 green Frieza's Army card with the energy cost of 2 or less from your deck and play it. Then shuffle your deck. I believe that means she could bring out herself, the promo version of herself that we saw. We did a video of it if, like, one of your cards is KO'd. Your opponent has a discarded card, something like that. And then we've got Limo, Frieza Force Soldier. He's a 2-cost, 15,000. Activate mains once per turn. For 1 green, choose 1 card from your hand, place it in your drop area. Choose up to 1 Chi-Lai BR card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your deck and play it. So, for 1 energy, you could discard a card and bring this one back out, which is pretty dumb. Or it's probably for that promo one, so you can bring that promo one back to the board. Still not, I don't know, I'm still not really a big fan of that. I don't feel like that's too strong of an ability, and I feel like there's going to be a lot more things that are played with this new archetype. Then we got Son Goku, Time to Fight. So this is interesting. We actually have yellow and green in this starter deck, and it's Brawley cards, and then here we have a Goku card. He's a 4-cost, 10,000 power. His permanent, if your opponent has 4 or more cards in rest mode, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. Okay, so you could basically play him for 1 energy. When you play this card, you can't play Son Goku, Time to Fight for the duration of the turn. Activate main says, place this card in its owner's drop area. Choose 1 green or yellow Saiyan card with the energy cost of 3 or less and 10,000 power or less from your drop area and play it in rest mode. And you can only play battle cards that are green or yellow with no other color for the duration of the turn. So what are you wanting to use this ability to bring out? You're bringing out a 3 or less with 1,000 power or less. So you play him for 1. You can't bring out this Vegeta, who's a 4-cost, 15,000 blocker. If your opponent has 4 or more cards in rest mode, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. So you can bring them both out for 1 each, which, you know, seems to fit a Vegito archetype pretty well. But, you know, this movie's going to have Gogeta in it. So I'm not really sure what you're going to do with that. We'll have to wait and see what other cards we can bring out with the Son Goku. But I do like that the Vegeta is basically a 1-cost. As long as your opponent has 4 or more cards in rest mode. And if it's, you know, if they've had their turn and they've had at least 2 or 3 energy, they probably have 4 cards. Then we've got Godly Destruction Whis. He's a 1-cost, 4,000 power. When you play this card, draw 1 card. Once per turn, when your opponent switches their energy to active mode using a non-awakened skill during their turn, choose one of your opponent's energy and place it in its owner's drop. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. This is actually getting fucking ridiculous. We have had enough energy switching effects. Like, you're seriously punishing cards that have no need to be punished, like the Goku Black Leader, or just anything. You're literally going, hey, here's this card. This is a yellow card now. This can be played in every yellow deck. It's once per turn, which isn't too terrible. He doesn't have barrier or anything. When your opponent switches their energy to active mode, choose one of their energy and place it in their owner's drop. But see, since it's once per turn and not during your turn, they can do it on your opponent's turn. So basically you'd have to kill this card before you did any energy switching. Like, this really, I'm not a fan of cards like this. We have enough cards that are anti-energy switching hate. It's just, it's ridiculous. Between this and then between Borgos and Dende, and like, if you're playing a deck that's about switching your energy or ramping energy, there is so much hate dedicated towards it. It's unreal. Now we've got Godly Destruction Beerus. He's a 1-cost, 5,000 power. I like the art there. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with an energy cost of 2 or less and KO it. Alright, so not too great of an ability. He's got Beerus BR for his character trait, and if you notice with Whis, he also has BR. So all of these characters are going to be BR, so they're not going to be compatible with previous Beerus, Whis, Goku, Vegeta, Brawley support. But he is still a god, so you can use him with previous god support for whatever that might help. But as I see it here, like, this is a nice little card to KO stuff early on, but besides that, I don't really feel like you're doing a whole lot with him. Then they've also revealed a few cards that are going to be in set 6. They didn't reveal all of green, which I thought was kind of odd. They just revealed the Brawley cards that are going to be in green. So we have Brawley Berserker Origins. He's a 4-cost, 15,000 power. Activate battle once per turn. Says, choose one card from your hand and place it in your drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. Again, it's activate battle. So that's not going to help get around blockers. It has to be 3 or less. So I'm not really sure. I mean, sure, you're basically discarding a card to get a free KO, but unless it's something that is either hard to KO or that, like, you just really need, dead. Like, maybe for active battle cards that you can't attack into, but otherwise it's just another way to get rid of, like, cheap cards on your opponent's board. When this card is removed from a battle area by a skill or KO'd, if your leader card is a green Freeze's Army card, you may choose 2 cards from your hand and place them in your drop area. If you do so, choose up to one green Brawley BR card with an energy cost of 6 from your hand and play it. So it's very similar to the Brawley card, the Brawley 4-drop that we saw that's going to be in the starter deck, except this one brings out a 6-drop instead of a 7-drop, which is not even shown here. So that's either going to be... That's an uncommon card, so it's either going to be one of the rares or perhaps a super rare. Then we have Brawley Unrealized Ambition here. He's a 1-cost, 10,000 power. When you play this card from your hand, if your leader card is a green Freeze's Army, choose 2 cards from your life and add them to your hand. Whoa. Whoa, this guy's going to help you awaken stupid early, even quicker than the 1-drop Frieza or that 1-drop Kid Gohan. When this card is removed from a battle area by a skill or KO'd, if your leader card is a green Freeze's Army card, choose 1 or 2 cards from your life and add them to your hand. Then choose up to 1 green Brawley BR card with energy cost of 4 from your hand and play it. That's insane. It's insane because he just has to leave the board by a skill or get KO'd by any means. So whether you do it or whether your opponent does it. And it doesn't matter if they KO it or if they warp it, if they put it at the bottom of the deck, if they bounce it back to your hand, this ability is going to go off and it's going to play the 4-drop for free. Then the 4-drop leaves, he plays the 6 or the 7-drop for free depending on which 4-drop. It's actually disgusting, and it's going to make this a stupid aggressive deck, which seems more like a red trait to me than a green trait, but that's what they're going with. Then we got Paragus Deadly Premonition. He's a 1-cost, 4,000 power. This is kind of odd because, so this looks more like the original Paragus from the first Brawley movie that we got years ago. Not so much the newer Paragus that we saw with the purple armor and the white. Maybe this is just, maybe his design didn't change a whole lot. He just got a shit ton older. Anyways, when you play this card from your hand, look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck and choose 1 Brawley BR card among them, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So basically, he's there to search out the 1-drop. But you don't need that. When this card is removed from the battle area by a skill, and if your leader card is a green Freeze's Army, choose 1 of your green energy and switch to active mode. Okay, so Paragus is not necessary. Paragus is 100% not necessary. Sure, you can use him to search out that Brawley BR, but you don't need him. You could easily just bring out this Brawley right here via Frieza's Call. He's a Frieza's Army card. So you just run green-yellow, which you're probably going to do anyways, because you're going to be running some yellow support because a lot of the Frieza's Army stuff is yellow. And you'll just play that. You'll search this from your deck at any point. He's still going to come out. You're still going to get the ability. So why would you play Paragus? This Paragus is useless in my opinion. Then you've got Ties That Bind B-A, whatever the hell that is. He's a 1-cost, 5,000 power, activate main. Says place this card in its owner's drop area. Choose up to 1 Brawley B-Yard card with an energy cost of 1 in your drop area and play it. Okay, so I guess you would play him, then immediately activate his activate main to bring out the 1-cost Brawley, which, see, and the auto is not optional. Choose 2 cards from your life and add them to your hand. It's not choose up to 2. So I don't really feel like this card is very worth playing either. You just need Frieza's Call to be able to get one of those out. And Frieza's Call can search the entire deck. So I think that that's much better than this or Paragus, in my personal opinion. Then we've got the extra card, Brawley Control Mechanism. It's a field card, so another field card for Brawley, just like we had Brawley's Ring in set 1. Activate main. Says place this card in its owner's drop area, choose 1 Brawley BR card in your battle area, place it in its owner's drop area, and draw 1 card. So this basically is another way to force the effects of your Broly's so that you can get out the 4 or 6 drop quicker. Whether your opponent is KOing them or you're not able to awaken quick enough. But based off of the 1-drop Brawley's ability, there should be no chance of really either of those happening. So I guess this is just a little extra, push. But personally, it seems like to combat this Brawley deck in this archetype, you're going to have to go as hard as possible, as fast as possible, to be able to, like, you want to force them to play those cards, basically, so you can then turn around and warp it or KO it. That almost seems like that is the strategy to go for, unless you have other ways of getting around them on your opponent's turn. Then we have Wrathful Charge. It's a new negate. If your leader card is green, negate the attack. Then you may choose 1 of your battle cards, place it in your drop area. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand, place it in their drop area. So it's still got a little bit of the Brawley discard theme going on, and it lets you send your Brawleys to the drop so that you can make them evolve into that new form, whether it be the 4-drop, the 6-drop, the 7-drop. I can see why this would be played, but I can also see why this isn't 100% necessary, and why the Shocking Death Ball from Series 5 might still be a better negate to play. I mean, it seems like there's so much to kind of ensure that your Broly's are going to leave the board, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it feels like one way or another, either you're going to be sending your opponent's Brawley cards to the board, or to the drop, or you're going to be sending them to drop yourself. So that's going to do it for this Dragon Ball Super video. We got to look at the Brawley from the starter decks, and we got to look at the Brawley from the starter deck. We also got to look at the Brawley cards from set 6 as well. There's going to be more to be revealed. There's going to be more Frieza's army stuff to go along with it as well. That Frieza without the armor right there is really unnerving for some reason, and I don't want to see that in a card form at all. But if you guys are hyped for the new Brawley support, if you guys prefer for us to do our videos like this from now on, either way, make sure you hit that like button down below for us. You know, we appreciate the support. We appreciate all of our subscribers as well. You guys have been fantastic supporting all of our content on the channel, whether it be Dragon Ball Super, whether it be Pokemon, anything in between. We really appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here, though, and we'll see you guys in the next video.